DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. You're probably wondering what this is. This is a strip of foil, and this is, yes, normally I do Stampin' Up, but I ran across this a couple months ago, and it is an Altenew Rows of Squares 3D embossing folder. And when I saw this, I just envisioned candy bar. And drum roll, candy bar is what I did. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love, 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 love this. So I'm going to show you how to make this candy bar with the Altenew 3D embossing folder called Rows of Squares 3D, and itty bitty foil and some other items. So let's get started with the candy bar. And I've got some early espresso. Sorry, my camera's attached to the table and I keep banging the table. I've got some early espresso cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to slide in here, and I'm going to run it through my cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to pause you for just a minute while I go do that, because it's all the way across the room. So hang on 1 second. So here it is. It is all embossed. I'm just going to pull it out of there, and I'm going to cut down my chocolate square, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 4. So I'm going to get be really careful because this is raised, and I'm just going to shave off, line that up on the grooves. Yep, see, it didn't want to cut that. So let's try that the other direction. Yeah, I seem to recall I had to cut this with scissors. So that's how not to cut this. So see, I have little shavings all over the place. So let's try this again. And we're just going to cut up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll cut across 4. And yeah, I didn't remember because I cut all these candy bars out weeks ago, and just now I'm getting to it. I just had a lot of stuff going on personally, and I made a ton of those. So just set this aside and you can make more candy bars at your leisure. Now I made these 3D, so let's get this measured. I'm going to pull you out so you can see it. Well, that wasn't being pulled out. That's being pulled out. Oops, too far. There we go. So this was 1 3/4 by almost 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut some additional pieces. Oh, I have foil all over the place. Cut some additional pieces. And I said, what? 1 3/4. So let's get some 1 3/4 here. And I know I probably should have cut the end off first, but that's okay. And I said like 2 3 is 2.5. I'm going to go 2 3/8. 5, let's see, 4 5/8, excuse me, 2 5/8. Oh yeah, because you want it to be just a little bit smaller than the top. And I'm not going to make it as thick, because if you want to send these through the mail, you don't want it too thick. So all I'm doing with these, let me put all of that aside, is get my handy dandy glue out. I'm just going to glue these guys together real quick. This glue bottle's almost empty. Doesn't require very much. And just line it up. just like that. And then make sure I get the glue on the right side. I want the raised up, so and get this all lined up. Just make sure that the front is overlapping all of the back pieces. And let me get you back in. And I have, where's my handy dandy? That's too thick. Oh no, where'd my brush go? There it is. I got these off Amazon and they'll be on my blog. I've got a favorite crafty things and I'll have a link to these out there. And let me zoom you really in so that you can see this. And I'm just grabbing the Early Espresso ink. Just gonna load this brush up, and all I'm doing is going down grooves to give this a little more shadow and to make it look like these bumps are a little more raised. And then do it on the sides. And you really only have to do like the top half because the bottom half is going to be covered in foil. Oops, got to do a cross too. Almost forgot that. I think the heat of summer here in Ohio has come full force because it's been very, very hot. So there's that. I'm just getting the excess ink on. I'll wash this brush later. For right now, I just want to move this along because I don't want this to be a really long video. And let me get my handy dandy foil. And trying to remember how I wrapped it before. Pull that up. Pull that over. Just like that. And we'll pull that down as soon as we get the rest of the candy bar done. So this has got a little wrapper on it. And from, let me see if I can find it here. It is the Bright and Beautiful 6x6 paper, designer series paper from Stampin' Up. And it just has all of these gorgeous patterns and fun things. And this, we're going to use this. But for the candy wrapper, I just use this, the stars. And I just measured where I wanted it. So I'm going to do 1.25 inches of this paper. So let me cut that real quick. Just like that. Let me get my tape runner ready. And I'm just going to, this is how I want to do this. Just like this. So I'm going to fold this over just like that. Hold that down. Run some tape here. And fold this over just like this. And the excess I just tore off. Then I'm going to get the tear tape. So when we secure this to the card, it's not going to come off. And I just ripping 3 pieces. And it's going to just secure everything. Just like that. And then just like this. Just like that. So then we've got, move you out just a little. You don't need to be that close for the rest of this. So let me put this all aside. I can pick it up. And the rest of the story. Ah, it stuck to me. Oh, I know what I needed to do. So on this, just take the foil and pull it down, and it's okay if it tears. You know, when you're opening up a candy bar, you tear the foil. At least I do. And there, just like that. It is a torn candy bar. Isn't that cool? I just think that's so fun. And the rest of the story. Okay. We're a little bright. And I'm trying to remember how brightness, there we go. Pull that down, nope. It's just, I should have bolded this and I'm sorry. So let me hold it up closer. So the card base is going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4, our standard card base. You're gonna score it. And oh boy, I have not done this in a while. So it is 5.5 by 8.5. Score at 4 1/4, and I'll have all these dimensions down below. Your front panel, which is going to be the multicolored, the mat for that is 5 1/8 by 2 1/8, and then the designer series paper is 5 by 2. So sorry about that. And I already have all of that cut. And so let's go ahead and burnish the fold down and get this glued to the mat. So 5 by 2 on the mat. Just like that. And then we're going to put this down. On the front, just like that. It's an extra piece I had. And the sentiment I'm using is from Beautiful Balloons. I just love this set. The dies, you got balloons, you got some fringe here. I already pre-cut out the front tag, and this is going to be a happy birthday. So let me get the happy birthday off of here. Get that lined up and get my square. And because this is photopolymer, I need my Stampin' Pierce mat. And we're going to use Blueberry Bushel, which I've got Berry Burst on the base, and Blueberry Bushel is the mat for this designer series paper. And my ink pad is extremely juicy. So I only cut one of these tags out, so hopefully this works. Just gonna hold it down for just a moment, pull it off. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now, make sure, like I said, that my ink pad is extra juicy. I should probably pull some of that off. So now it's a matter of putting this together. So I think I'm just going to do like that, and I'm actually going to put this up on dimensionals. I didn't before on the others, so let me grab my dimensionals. And I'm going to make sure I don't get the dimensionals where the holes are. I should have grabbed the minis, but oh well, that's okay. Never have too many dimensionals. It would give some support. that up here at the top, just like that. And then let me pull off don't know, I was getting some kind of message from my recording software. I don't know what I meant, so sorry about that. Hopefully this has continued to record. I'll watch this before I post just to make sure everything is there. And then I took off the papers for the tear and tape, mooshed that down, and then I have a panel for the inside. There's my tape. And I'm just going to insert this. Get that lined up. Hopefully my head wasn't in the way. Sometimes I do that. And there you go. Easy peasy card. And that candy bar looks good enough to eat. Thank you so much for joining me today for this really quick video. I had a ton of fun. As you can see, I had a ton of fun making this card. Now, the ones I made, I used a retired stamp set. It was, what was it? Oh my. Nothing better than? Yeah, nothing's better than. So this is retired. And I will have this probably up on my Etsy store soon to remove from my stash because I have way too many stamp sets. But I had a ton of fun making all of these cards for thank yous and birthdays. I just love this little candy bar. And like I said, when I was perusing the Alta New website and I saw this embossing folder, all I saw was candy bar. What can I say? So thank you again for joining me. I do appreciate your time, and I will see you soon.